So I love that. I love that you said that. And I'm just curious, like when you think about it from that perspective too, how do you, I guess more like, yeah, how do you see yourself, or how do you see your clients change or adjust when you do that direct communication?
It reminds me of what John said once. He said that direct communication is a form of empathy.
Mm.
So for me, I know it's part of my purpose and passion and my mission, just like you're saying. And if I think about the coaching that I've had, sometimes actually the biggest growth and shifts I've had is when my coach called me out. And I've had coaches who've been really prickly with me, really called me out. And I know we don't have a lot of time. I'll just give you an example. I remember one, used to be really stuck in my own head about comparison and worrying about what people were thinking. And, after I had done something or presented or shown up or the role that I was in, really thinking about what other people were saying. And my coach, she said to me once, she said, "What makes you think you're so important?" And I was like, "What?" Whoa. It made me burst out laughing. In essence, she was telling me the whole world didn't revolve around me, and I needed to get out my own head and I needed to get out of ego.
Mm.
And I still laugh about it, and it really helps me to think about, yeah, what makes me think everything revolves around me actually allowed me to let it go. I mean, that was her style, prickly, really direct. I use a lot of humor with direct communication. And it also depends on my client. I have clients that tell me in design lines, I want you to kick my ass. Some like, I want you to go a little bit soft, a little bit easy with me. Please challenge me with love. But I think once you learn to groove and flow with someone and you know their style and you know kind of the things that are important to them, it could be a book, it could be a movie, it could be a superhero. I mean, it could be I'm working with someone who's a Marvel fan and I can use direct communication with them and say, "Sounds like Thanos is here," like, what is your ego saying right now?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I think that really sums up nicely, the idea that we we are the mirror. And sometimes when you look in the mirror, you don't love what you see. And that's not there, and that's not to say there's anything wrong with that. It's just the awareness of knowing like, ooh, okay, sometimes I look in the mirror and I think to myself, you know what, I could have done better today, and it's like, okay, well, how, but I don't, through coaching and all that stuff, like now I don't harp on that as much. Now I think, okay, if I could have done better today, that means that there's room for improvement tomorrow. So what am I going to do tomorrow that's going to make my day better or help me move towards my goals or what have you? So I think, having that mirror mentality is really a really lovely way to think about things. And so I know we're like just out of time, but I'm curious, like if you had to sum up, today's conversation, what would be the one takeaway you would hope that people would get from this sort of conversation about difficult participants or clients?
I think it's just meet people where they're at and whatever that means for where they're at. It could be revisiting the Designing Alliance. It could be coaching isn't right for them. I've had to fire clients. We'll talk about that some other time. But you're really stepping into their world. Meet people where they're at, step into their world, seek to understand.
I love that. I think for me, the takeaway would be, um, if I had to put it in like one sentence, it's the importance of self-awareness for both you and your client. So your self-awareness about yourself, your self-awareness about what your client needs, and then your self-awareness, and then your client's self-awareness about themselves. All of those things are important in a coaching session. And so that'll help you make determinations about how to manage these difficult or challenging moments in coaching. So yeah, thank you for all of your insight into this very interesting topic that comes up a lot in classes.
Thank you, Britt. It's been a pleasure. I've really, really enjoyed chatting to you.
Yeah, same. Women's empowerment.
Absolutely. All about that.
That's
I hope
right.
we can connect again soon or maybe even have a panel of people or
Yeah.
women in the future.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
All right. Well, thank you. And thanks, everyone. Thank you for listening in. Please listen to the replay afterwards. Send us any questions that you've got, any burning things that you want to ask us, and we will all aim to respond to you and answer. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.